Happy Saturday. It's the final weekend of May, and we have some hotter temperatures settling in as we finish up the month. We'll be heating up this entire weekend. Temperatures will probably hit 90 degrees, and we have not done that at the New Orleans International Airport, where we take the official record, since last October. So it's been a long time since we officially hit 90 degrees at the airport. We'll see if we'll do it this weekend. I think we have a good shot at it. But that's only half the story, of course. It's going to be humid, so it'll feel like the mid to upper 90s in the afternoons. It's going to feel like that summer heat. It's coming back for us. It's going to be here to stay for a while. So time to get into that, that feeling and get used to it for like the next 7 months. Today we're seeing a mix of sunshine and clouds. Great weather on your Saturday. Temperatures upper 80s, low 90s this afternoon. So it's going to be a hot one. Make sure you keep yourself cool and hydrated if you're checking out the tall ships or doing any of the festivals that we have, or there's so much going on both sides of the lake. Just make sure you have water with you, a way to stay cool and hydrated. Maybe you can hang out in some air conditioning for a few minutes if you can. And also don't forget sun protection when you're out and about today too. Tonight's going to be really pleasant. We'll have temperatures in the 80s in the early evening and then 70s later tonight. Here's an update on the river levels since we had so much heavy rain over the last week. Of course, the rivers and the creeks are still running high in South Mississippi, especially the West Hoblachita Creek, still in a moderate flood stage, but is falling. The East Hoblachita Creek and the Pearl River are in a minor flood stage. The East Hoblachita is also falling, but the Pearl River is remaining steady. We still have flood warnings in effect for the Pearl River and the Hoblachita Creek. So just keep that in mind. Things are going to, be kind of swollen or at least the water levels are going to be a little bit running high for the next couple of days. But things are looking better. These bodies of water have already crested. They are falling, so we're making gradual improvements, but it's going to take a couple more days. Also, the Wolf River is still swollen too. A flood warning for the Wolf River too, and rivers closer to Gulfport and Biloxi are still under flood warnings. So South Mississippi still having to deal with swollen creeks and rivers, at least through the weekend. On the North Shore, also, things are improving a lot. We had some action stages for the Bogafalia and the Bogachita, but they have come down. We're no flooding for those two spots, but the Tchefuncta is still in an action stage, not experiencing flooding, and that'll continue to come down. So things are looking up. Things are on the up and up for sure when it comes to the water levels in South Mississippi and the North Shore. The North Shore is good too, doing even better on the North Shore. So here we go. Weekend forecast is going to be hot and humid. We'll have a mix of sunshine and clouds. It's going to be beautiful this weekend. If you don't mind some heat, there's a chance for a couple isolated showers and storms this weekend, especially tomorrow on Sunday. That's our best bet. I think today is going to be pretty dry, but it will feel wet outside. The humidity is high. Dew points will be in the 70s. It'll be sticky and muggy out there. No surprise. It's the end of May. And it stays humid early in the work week and, pretty humid during the second half of the week. There's just maybe a little bit of dry air that might try to push in during the midweek time frame. It's not going to be a dramatic difference how it feels outside, but maybe some slightly less mugginess happening around Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, that time frame. But the general story is that it's going to be muggy and humid basically every single day from now until this coming October. Here we go. Feels like temperatures, the heat index, it's back in full force. We've got actual temperatures near 90. Mugginess certainly abounds, so it'll feel like the mid to upper 90s for a few hours this afternoon. So it's getting hot. And also our UV index is going up too. We're at the extreme UV index level. We have today between 11 and a 12. Tomorrow it's like a 10 to 11, so you can get a sunburn in like 10 minutes. You definitely want sunscreen, hats, sunglasses, some form of sun protection with you, or apply it before you leave. Maybe bring it with you before you head out the door, just so you have it. And keep that in mind. In addition to the sun protection, you'll want water and just a way to keep yourself cool. Dress lightly. And, try not to overdo it out there, especially as we get reacclimated to the summertime heat. Tomorrow, same deal, hot and muggy. Heat index feels like temperatures in the mid to upper 90s. Tomorrow afternoon, not quite at 100 degrees yet, which is good news. We're going to gradually get into the summer season, hopefully. We'll time out today's showers. I think today we're going to be mostly dry. There is a very low chance for 1 or 2 isolated showers today throughout the late afternoon and early evening. Very few and far between. But you could get 1 or 2 stray showers rolling in throughout this late afternoon time period, pretty typical of this time of the year. Tomorrow, there will be a little bit more moisture positioned over the Gulf Coast, so we may see just a few more scattered showers and storms popping up tomorrow during the late afternoon and evening, but still very hit or miss. Definitely a drier setup this weekend. We're getting into a drier pattern, but our rain chances do go up slightly for Sunday. And they go up slightly again for Monday. Monday, a bit more moisture working in. There's going to be a weak front moving in from the northeast that could bring us the dry air during the midweek. But before it gets here, it could trigger a few scattered showers and storms on Monday throughout the afternoon and early evening. Couple soaking showers, again, typical of this time of the year. Lightning within a few thunderstorms, maybe a few downpours, but not a problem for everybody. A few more showers and storms later into Monday. Also, this weekend, we have a full moon, and it's the second full moon for the month of May. And since it is the second full moon for the month, it's called a blue moon. Of course, the moon is not going to appear blue, but it is going to look very nice tonight and tomorrow night. So both nights this weekend, we've got perfect viewing for it. We'll have clear skies. It's going to look fantastic. Also, it's going to look a little bit smaller in the sky because it's called a micro moon. It's actually at the farthest point away from the Earth. So this moon is going to be a micro moon, which is the opposite of a super moon. So it may look a little bit smaller, but it will be beautiful. It will be nice. And if you're, looking to take a chance on something this weekend, you want to do something fun, safe, be wise. Once in a blue moon, do it this weekend. Enjoy yourself this weekend. I did want to show you the upper pattern and the moisture coming in the next few days. So it is going to be a little bit drier today. That's why we have lower rain chances. Then going into tomorrow and Monday, a bit more moisture working in from the Gulf out ahead of a weak front that tries to work in from the northeast. So that's why we're going to have a bit more spotty rain and storm action Sunday and especially Monday. So Monday we'll have a few more scattered storms in the mix. But here is that batch of dry air that moves in from the northeast. So there's going to be what is known as like a backdoor cold front that's moving into the northeast and New England, that part of the country. But the backdoor front and this upper low could bring some drier air even into the southeastern part of the U.S. So we may get some dry air across our part of the Gulf on Tuesday and Wednesday, maybe even lasting into Thursday, which would help really dry us out and maybe even make it feel a little bit less muggy outside. Not a huge dramatic difference, and it's definitely not going to get much cooler, but a little bit of a subtle change there. And as we go later in the week, it doesn't last long. More moisture gets to surge back in from the Gulf by the late week time frame next Friday. So we'll bring back some more rain chances, of course. So it's that time of the year where we get some subtle fluctuations day to day, but largely the same deal almost every day. Hot, humid temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s, though it feels hotter because of the humidity. It'll feel like the mid to upper 90s. We've got good weather this weekend. Dry today with sun. Spotty showers tomorrow, but not much. Few more scattered storms on Monday, though, to kick off the work week, which is June 1st, the start of hurricane season and also the start of meteorological summer. Tuesday, Wednesday, a little bit less rain. That continues into Thursday, mostly dry midweek. Still seasonably hot and humid in the upper 80s, but we could bring back a few scattered storms by later in the week. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back for the WWL Louisiana News this evening.